Excuse me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. We're going to be talking about the Somali incident that happened very recently, So it's been a lot of talk for the past few days, how Trump have taken the temporary protection status away from Somalians in Minnesota, from being naturalized citizens to denaturalized citizens. And it can happen, you know what I'm saying, which is what we're already seeing and things. You see the FAFO, meaning fuck around, find out, you know what I'm saying? So this is exactly what's going on right now. What's interesting to me is that the Somalis, right, they're asking or wanting help from the black community. Well, in fact, originally they were saying how they are not black, they don't identify as being black. And it's amazing that a lot of these particular groups share our hue, meaning our, you know, oh man, this is something else. Our hue or our melanin, you know what I'm saying? So it's amazing to me that something like this still continue on, because let's just face it, Africans and blacks in America do not rock with each other. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is that they need to keep that energy. It ain't us that need their help. It's them need our help now that they have gotten pinched by the law. I mean, if you're going to sit up here and do all this scammy stuff, you know what I'm saying, and then expect for blacks and other people cry out to the community, oh, help me, oh, help me. I mean, we have over 74 incidents with criminal Somalians defrauding, people in Minneapolis, right? Minnesota. This is crazy. Boy, I tell you, but yeah, so we're going to go ahead into it. We're going to go into it. Let me see, Somalis fraud. Let me see a breakdown. Let's take a look at it, because I'm going to be discussing that too. Now, I did one a few days ago, if you guys remember, with the Dearborn situation, and I tied the Somali situation together. I mean, because many of us know the handwriting on the wall, right? When it comes down to what's going on, it's, we already know what the breakdown is. Hold on for one moment. For some reason, it's not. All right, hold on for a minute. I'm gonna do a new search here. All right, we're gonna do a new one here. Just one moment. All right, let's do this here. All right, what we're gonna do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna close this one down. Hold on for one moment. We're gonna wait for some people to come in the room. Come in the room at the same time. I'm gonna do this for about an hour and then I'm out because I gotta get to work. But I said I got some time before I get started today. All right, let's take a look at it here. All right, let's take a look at it here. Somali fraud. Let's see here. Minneapolis. Okay. All right, hold on for a minute. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I have it right here. I had to pull up the information here, man. So and I appreciate some of you guys coming into the chat. We already know what the COVID-19 schemes that they've been doing. They call it Minneapolis, Little Mogadishu. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're talking about federal programs like Medicare, right? Child nutrition aid, right? These fraudsters, right? Man, I mean, man, they really did it, man. It has been said that 1 billion, right? We're talking about 1 billion in these particular fraudulent schemes that they concocted and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, they have like over 86 charged, 59 convicted, 95% Somali linked to the largest cases. That's a lot. We're talking about from shell companies, right? Fake invoices, recruited participants, right? Funds laundering into luxuries, Rolexes, Lamborghinis, overseas investments. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? I also don't leave out the terrorist allegations. El Shabab, you know what I'm saying? Right? Is it El Kebab or Shabab? I'm just kidding. Right? But yeah, man, these are the things though, man. We're talking about the schemes, which is feeding our future children, right? Nutritional fraud, right? Man, this stuff, we're talking about HHS fraud, right? Nobody's lying on these people, man. These are the stuff that they were caught. The daycare, Medicaid, Medicare fraud. Man, when this all adds up, man, it's is amazing to me, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff that we have already heard. And these ain't really allegations. These are things that they have actually done, right? I love Trump's position on attacking this issue by denaturalizing all of them and getting them out of the country for ICE. You know what I'm saying? The ICE people, we're going to play the video in a minute, though. I appreciate you guys coming in the morning. But yeah, man, I did one for some of you guys that came in the room. You know, we talked about the Dearborn situation, and then I tied it with the Somali situation as well. And this is a message out for Black Americans. Do not get involved with this issue here because we don't rock the same. We don't rock the same. Most of the Africans and Blacks in America, we don't rock the same. They don't rock with us, and I don't rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. These are the ones and things. Remember what the Somalis say? We are not black. We are not black. We are Somali. We are Somali. Keep that same energy. Because it's mighty funny that now that they got pinched by the law, they want to sit up here now and then talk about Black unity and all this other kind of nonsense, man. You know what I'm saying? When in fact, they are the fraudsters. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones over here scamming on every level. You know what I mean? We talking about up to $1 billion. That's a lot of money to send back to El Kebab. You know what I'm saying? I call it kebab. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I'm just saying the fraudsters, you know, I call it kebab, you know what I'm saying? But it's really shabab. What's it? Yeah, shabab. I know what it is, but just kind of playing funny a little bit. Got to have a little humor in this stuff, though, man. So I'm gonna play the video very soon, though. Yeah, you know, I love the fact Trump's position and his stance on mass deportation with these criminals. And I pray, I mean, I'm just thankful every day, you know what I'm saying? Praying and thankful every day how Trump is raining on our enemies, you know what I'm saying, of America. People that hate America. You know, here it is that we're a host. They are a guest. It's like, you know, I got an extra room. And, you know, you can stay here. as long as you abide by the rules. So they over here ripping off, bringing a lot of stolen, running all kind of scams, running all the stuff in my house. You know what I'm saying? And this is the analogy. I'm actually using this because this is an example as to what is going on. I invite you into my house, my home. You know, be very courteous. Allow you to, you know, you can cook, you can clean, do your laundry, all this other stuff. Kind of find out you make billions of dollars in my house doing some stuff that is illegal, as you know what I'm saying, as the F word. I'm trying to refrain on a lot of cussing though, you know what I'm saying? So in return, yeah, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a disrespectful thing, right? And yeah, this is where we are here right now, ladies and gentlemen. So just give me a few more minutes and we're gonna go ahead and get this video up and queued up. And for those that follow me, appreciate you guys to go on Rumble. You see the scrolling down at the bottom there? It says, please support my Rumble channel, which is a random male. Couldn't get some random guy, but a random male. That is my channel on Rumble. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at it. We're just gonna go into the video. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, America? Somalians are starting to be deported in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oh, yes, apparently that started last night, as ICE agents and Homeland Security have been spotted in Minneapolis, Minnesota, rounding up Somalians who are committing fraud to get into America. Yep, it looks like that's finally happening.
Back.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I love it. Right now,
it just gets bad here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Just pray to God just. I'm just tired.
Those who have been influencing the American culture the past 200 years. You have nothing to worry about. Guess what? The new immigrants, the Muslims, they will become just like you.
Community leaders, business leaders, and youth leaders from the Somali community and from the Muslim community in Minnesota. And we're gathered here today to fully support and endorse President Trump and JD Vance.
Moving on, 64 Somalis arrived at the JKIA today after being deported from the United States. The 71 were accompanied by U.S. security officials.
This is where I'm living. I'm so tired of it. Just like, I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more.
Remember when they was telling Black Americans that they could get deported? Remember? 5 minutes later.
When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen.
Now, if Ilhan Omar, a Somalian refugee, can't get deported, a Black American most definitely can't get deported.
We're not Black, we're not Arab, we're Somali. Let me start off by why we're not Black. This is Black. This is brown, and there's not a single person in the world that's this skin color. Do your research. Black is the absence of color. It's what you get when there's no color. It's what you get when you turn off the light. You get black. And yes,
we are Somalis, not Black. There, I said it.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome to yet another interesting episode. I hope you're doing fine wherever you're tuning in from. Now, this is a follow-up episode of an episode that I had recently covered. You can look up my catalog and watch.
All right, well, enough of that. Okay, I just want to show you guys a little bit. Now, there's the one guy that was pleading and crying. He was actually in Somalia, I believe Mogadishu, right? But he was actually there, right? Because he's already been deported back some time ago. So he's pleading and crying because, you know, there's a civil war that still continues in Somalia. They have no functioning government. You know what I'm saying? We got a bunch of chaos. Destruction, rape, all type of stuff going on over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's never ceases to amaze me how they didn't put this person in, Ilhan Umar and all this other kind of nonsense as a congressperson. Actually, they voted her out of there. She's not even a congressperson no more either. So she's about to lose her naturalized citizen status as well. She's going to be denaturalized, which she's pretty much already, I believe, have or on the way. But she's going to be coming up on out of here very shortly too. She's going to be deported. And some of these Somalis may not make it when they go back to Somalia. Some of them have rival gangs and so forth. I think with Ilhan Umar, she comes from a rival family, and it's not going to be very nice when they touch down in Somalia. You know what I'm saying? But that's their fault, ladies and gentlemen. And as blacks, don't you get involved with this Somali thing. We have nothing to do with it. This is about Americans, and no other Americans should be involved with this as well. Let the long arm of the law, let them handle it. They have prevailed. Trump have already spoken, right, in regards to this issue, though. So those that are coming in, I already showed the clips of Somalis being arrested by ICE. And this happened actually when the day that he took the temporary protection status away from them. You know, so there's been a crackdown with ICE agents. They're rounding them up, Somalis. You know, we went over their crimes and what they've been doing, defrauding Americans. Billions of dollars have exited out of America back to al-Shabaab, you know. So Shabaab, which is that terrorist organization that they support. So as it states, Trump is justified in his rights to do what needs to be done to protect America, though. And I'm 100% on board with it. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, we allowed these people into our country. We'll open embrace, you know, welcome them in, you know, gave them protection status and so forth, allow them to have communities, which I would have never have done if it would have been left up to me. Because, you know, they come from criminality for the majority of them, right? Because if you look, like I said before, Somalia is not a place that even I would want to go to. You know what I'm saying? Civil wars going on, you know, and like that one guy showed y'all, hold on, let's play it again. And he's in Somalia, and he's crying, begging, you know. Let me see here. I mean, here it is. Let me see here. Here it is.
So tired of it. It's just like,
he's so tired of it.
I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more.
You don't want to be in Somalia no more. Look at the background. Shanty town. Look at that. Poverty.
More.
Remember when they was telling Black America?
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to read our whole book to find out what the book is telling us. You know. So I'm going to get down to the good stuff again. Let me go and back it on up. I think some of you guys have already seen. Here it is right here. So
Minnesota rounding up Somalians who are committing fraud to get into America. Yep, it looks like that's finally happening.
We're back. Out the way, man.
you can tell he can't fight. I don't want to go back to Somalia.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Pray to God just tired.
Those who have been influenced.
He's tired, you know. All this scamming, y'all should have thought about that. Y'all had every opportunity to get clean, right? You had every opportunity. All you had to do is follow our laws here. You know, they're over here doing this stuff. They don't know anything about RICO laws or any of this stuff. Man, please, man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Oh, my gosh. Boy, I tell y'all. But I appreciate y'all for coming in, though. I said I wanted to get into this situation here. And, yeah, I think y'all already saw when they voted Ilhan Umar. They voted her out and things out of the Congress and stuff. I was talking about this last night with a friend of mine. You know what I'm saying? She will not stand against, you know, the crimes, the fraud, the gang activity that's going on over there in Minneapolis. You guys know that they got Somali gangs over there terrorizing the people over there. So these are the things that's going on over there right now. Nobody lying on these people or whatever. Because if they were such model citizens, they wouldn't have their asses deported. Because as I made a mention, you got another group, which is the Hmong people from Southeast Asia. That's over here. There's a lot of them over here under refugee status around the 90s as well. But I don't see them showing out. I don't see them doing a lot of frauding and all the rest of this nonsense, gangs and all this other stuff. The ones I'm seeing is I'm hearing all the time about Somalian. I mean, over here speaking in Somalian. We should not allow foreigners to be in our political system anymore, because if this is what's happening. You see Dearborn, I already did that live stream. So you guys watch that. You know, this is a major problem. This is about infiltration and taking over, conquering. But it's not gonna be allowed. Trump is not gonna allow it, and the American citizens are not gonna allow it. We have spoken, right? I don't rock with this type of stuff. They don't rock with us. Somali people don't rock with Black Americans, let alone Americans. They say Somali first. But guess what? You got your wish now. You thought Trump was playing around. You thought Trump was BSing. But I tell you this, you fucked around and now you found out. I'm going to follow forward this a little bit. I had to say that one, but hold on for a minute. We get down to some other good stuff right here, because I just want you guys. All right, let's see. I love this. I love this part right here. I want you guys. I love it. I love it. That's why it's a Somali flag.
I don't want to be here no more. I'm so tired of being here. This place.
I want you back over there.
This is where I'm living.
Going on. Thought about that.
I'm so tired of it. Just like I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more.
So they thought about that.
I don't cut my hair. I don't shave. I don't do nothing. I just want to go back.
Thought about that.
Somalis are not.
You should have thought about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else is going on. Let me show you guys. Look at this.
Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even.
He's talking about us. Black Americans don't even know their father. That's not. I know my father. What the hell are you talking about? I know my father.
Even know their fathers. It was all of them, or most of them, were the product of one night stand.
You hear this type of stuff? A product of one night stand. What are you talking about, man? I got a daddy. What you talking about? You know, enough of this nonsense, man. Enough. I can't even take it no more, man. I'm not going to entertain that. Let me see here. Let me see what else over here. Let's hold on for a minute.
Get when you turn off the light, you get black.
And yes, to the residents of Minnesota, it has been brought to my attention that some of you fear that the Somali community is taking over the Twin Cities, the cities you've once called home. This takeover is very inevitable, as this land was promised to us by our ancestors 5,000 years ago. And
our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visas, and many other discrepancies.
Yeah, this is what's been going on, ladies and gentlemen. Am I making this stuff up? This stuff has been going on, though. I'm showing receipts. All these receipts can be verified, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, no American have a dog in their fight at all. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here.
Because she's so arrogant. And the problem that these people don't understand is gratitude. Because basically it would be like you inviting someone over for dinner and then them complaining about the food and then refusing to leave, saying, we're not going anywhere. It's so rude and gross. And you know what? Like, nobody cares about your cause. Everybody just wants you to leave because we're so sick of this entitled attitude to our taxpayer money. Again, you invite someone over and they're like, give me your paycheck. I'm not leaving. And by the way, your house is a mess. These people actually are crazy. But you know what? Just like everybody else, you're going to get out. And someone like me can't wait.
Well, there you have it. So
yeah, there it is, though, you know. So yeah, so you FBAs, you foundational blacks, don't you get involved with this stuff, though. I know a lot of you are not, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying, you know, we ain't gonna allow this type of stuff. And she got a point, even though I made a better example than that, you know, analogy than that. Here it is, though, you know. I got a home, and I allow people that came over as a guest to live in my home, you know, and they're paying rent, whatever the case may be. And then what ended up happening is they shit on me, you know what I'm saying, with all this fraudster ass stuff in my house, keeping my house unclean, though, inviting in more riffraff and all the rest of this stuff that's going on. And that's exactly what's happening. You know what I'm saying? These Somalis, I'm not sympathetic at all. Trump is doing his thing. I rock with him 100%. Rain on American enemies, I say, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing a hell of a job cleaning up. And we're going to get more of these Somalis out of our country. And let me just play this again. Welcome to the channel for those that are coming in. Let me go ahead and play this again because, you know, I do love the fact with the sad music. I just got to play it again, man. I mean, I'm over here. Here it is right here.
I'm so tired of it. It's just like, I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more.
He's in Somalia, for those. You know, that's how you see the Somali flag there. You can see it, you know, there it is right here. See the background, the shanty towns, you know, so forth, little villages over there. And I don't know what part that is, you know, Mogadishu, you know. Let me say it again. He said that he's unkept. He said he don't cut his hair no more. He let his hair grow out, got the beard thing going on, looking like one of the Whispers, you know, that group called the Whispers. What's those twins' name? With that caterpillar mustache, you know what I'm saying? So this is what we're talking about here, you know. You had it good, Somali. You had it good over here in America. But what did you do? You took our kindness for weakness. You thought Americans was going to be stupid and dumb. I know a lot of y'all never thought that this day is going to happen. It's going to happen, right? You thought that you were above the law. You believed the propaganda of Ilhan Omar. She was talking real greasy, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, she was talking like she was untouchable. This TPS status, temporary protection status that was granted to Somalians, because they can give it, they can remove it at the same time. And you see, that's exactly what Trump did. Fucked around and found out today, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't it a beautiful thing? It's a beautiful thing, man. I love seeing this. And we're going to see many more of these videos like the one I'm showing you right now with him begging to go back to the United States. You know yourself that this don't make any sense. How in the hell? I mean, you over here, you ain't got to watch your back. Bombs ain't going off. You know, you ain't got to worry about your daughters being raped and all that in America. But you just played us like a fool. Look at him, looking all pitiful, right? This guy played us like a fool, man. And many more of them. So why in the hell should I be sympathetic, right? You know, a lot of these foreigners don't rock with Americans at all. Asians don't rock with Americans, especially black folk. You know what I'm saying? I heard even them trying to call out to black folk for help. No, we are not your saviors. You know, I'm not the saviors of anybody that disrespect America, break our laws, right? Defraud us out of billions of dollars. And you think that I'm supposed to sit up here and be sympathetic to you and your cause? F you and your cause. I want them all out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Somali people I'm picking on here. This is just a placeholder. We talking about Dearborn, Arabs, overstayed visas, a lot of fraudulent activity that's going over there in Dearborn. I already mentioned this. I already did the live on that already, right? And anywhere else. They're rounding up a lot of these Chinese, busting these illegals, these Chinese nationalists that's over here illegally. This is straight across the board. Trump don't discriminate, and I don't discriminate either. You know, you scamming ass Nigerians too. You know what I'm saying? You guys are on the list too. Don't just get this stuff twisted. We know that Texas has a large Nigerian population over there in Houston. Don't think we don't know that. And you Indians too. You know, Bangladesh too. Isn't that a Muslim country? Come on now. We got to start looking at these people a lot differently now. They always been unfamiliar to me. You know what I mean? But I just love watching this video here, just kind of showing you guys once again. Let me just play this again. It's just more impactful. Let me see if I can pull up that other one. You know, I just love it, you know. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. This is the walk of shame right here. Eyes over their hands over the eyes, hair uncut, probably unclean too. Let's look at it and play it again.
I don't want to be here no more. I'm so tired of being here. This place. This is where I'm living.
He got the title, "Please give my passport back, Donald Trump, please." See, you pleading now. You begging on your knees. Please, babe, please, please. No, Dude, you forfeited that right. You should have been against your people with all the scamming that was going on. But nope, you never thought you were going to get caught. And ladies and gentlemen, though, I know I can't see the hearts and likes because I'm on a StreamYard, but I know y'all rock with me, though. If it doesn't look like acknowledging the hearts, I wish I could see them on this particular stream, but I won't see them till afterwards, but I appreciate it. Because it is a funny thing, though, too. You know, I got to put a little humor in it, though. You know what I'm saying? So hold on for a minute. Here we go. Play this. Oh, boy.
I'm so tired of it. Just like
the kids, I started having a good time in the background.
I want to go back. I don't want to be here no more. I don't cut my hair. I don't shave. I don't do nothing.
You're probably saying he don't wash either, though. You know what I'm saying? You know, it just doesn't make no sense to me, man. It just doesn't. Because you was in the best country in the world. You had temporary protection status. And let's talk about that. It's called temporary. It's not permanent protection status. It's temporary protection status. Meaning it was only going to be temporary. A lot of them came over here as refugees, though. It's overstayed. We always had these policies in place, man. You know what I'm saying? Just we had a president that was man enough, balls enough to act on this type of stuff, though, man. Many countries got things similar, you know? You can do this in Poland, I bet you that. Oh, man.
I just want to go back.
Somalis are not black.
Oh, yeah, see, we already heard that, though, you know? I bet you're begging to be black now, aren't you? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of stuff here that we're talking about, you know? This is the type of stuff, yeah, it's many more of this foolishness that I'm looking at. But yeah, though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I'm so happy and glad, you know, regards to what is going on, though, man, because this is going to make Minneapolis a lot better. Y'all know the gangs that's in Minneapolis right now? There's Somali gangs terrorizing the locals there. I mean, it's already been said that a lot of them don't even come out of their house. You know? How did this happen in America, ladies and gentlemen? We have to say this. These, once again, failed Democratic policies and low-down ass rhino Republicans. There's a difference. Rhino, Republican in name only, and Tim Tampon Waltz, which is a disgrace, in my opinion, as a governor. He been known about this fraudulent activity that's been going on by them for a long time, because everybody was getting kickbacks on this. You don't think that a governor of Minneapolis would not know about corruption, fraud, activity, and things like that? You know, I don't care about Uber. I mean, I'm sorry, not Uber. I don't care about YouTube shadow banning me down. They do that a lot, you know, because they don't want the truth to come out. They want to keep it suppressed, you know. But like I said, you can't keep truth down, because like I said before, though, you know, if you watch my other live streams where I went in even a lot more emotionally, because this is something that impacts us all as American citizens. You know, they had an opportunity to get themselves right. Ilhan Umar, so forth. This is nothing more than a criminal organization. It's a front, aka not one Somali legit business. Just let that sink in a little bit. Just think about that. I'm gonna say it again. Not one Somali, right, legit business. They have over 74 people right now. They got, what did I say, 59 of them have been prosecuted, and they got 89 more waiting to be prosecuted. Come on now, man. You know the math ain't even, I mean, it ain't even adding up. Can any, I don't live in Minneapolis, but the question would be, and I'm sure that they gotta be, it's what it sounds like to me. You have more fraudulent businesses, HHS, you know, human health services, scams, and fraud, and all this other kind of nonsense, Medicaid, Medicare, you know, shell corporations that doesn't exist. None of this exists. What if they had the autism one? They were over here just rounding up regular children, never been treated for autism, man. They was into a lot of stuff, man, you know, and this is what happens. Any other country in the world do not allow, I mean, everybody know now that people ain't gonna allow Somalis into their country. Europe don't want you, America don't want you, and they sure in hell don't want you over in these Asian countries. Japan ain't gonna have it. You know, shout out to Japan once again, you know. They were trying to run that mass immigration stuff in Japan. They say, hell no. They stood up, because they know anytime you offer mass immigration, you will lose your what? Identity, your nationality in your country. Just ask UK. Just ask the people in the UK. You know what I'm saying? And they were trying to do that here in America. This shouldn't have never happened, man. And this is why there got to be accountability for the people to allow the TPS in the first place to, towards these people. These people came in, a lot of them came in fraudulent as well, refugee status and so forth. You know, we don't want you. It's like what Trump said. If you want to come to America, you're going to be vetted. We want the best of you. We don't want the worst of you. Because the worst of you, look what's happening. Look around, ladies and gentlemen. Look at New York. Look at Dearborn, Michigan, right? Which is not that far from Detroit. I live in Detroit, right? And next time, I'm going to do it again, where I'm going to do a live. I'm going to ride through Dearborn. You guys are going to witness for yourself. I'm going to show you. I'm not making this stuff up. And then Minneapolis. I mean, we have seen this. Look at Los Angeles as well. America was starting to lose its heritage, its identity, because they do not assimilate into American culture. Muslims have a hard time with it, because in their religion and them as a people, it's all about conquering. It's not about living side. You know, one thing with Christians can live with other people. You can be Hindu, you can be Sikh. These people, for the most part of it, seem to live amongst you. You know, there's no problems. There's Sikh temples and all the rest of this, Hindu temples. You know, I dropped off many times, dropping them off in these places. You know what I'm saying? Been offered many times to come inside and visit, which I told him I'm going to take him up on his offer just to look around. But The point is that I don't see them being disrespectful. Got the big loud speaker like we're in India or whatever like that, or in the Arab countries. You got to call the prayer. Every Muslims have what they call an app. There's a special app that Muslims, it reminds them of the call to prayer. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to have the big speaker like they do in Dearborn, Hamtramck, 5 a.m. in the morning, doing the five. You know, I'm talking about the Fajr prayer and all that's, you know, early in the morning. You don't need to do all that type of stuff, right? And ladies and gentlemen, for those that are coming in, I'm just been showing the receipts. Let me go and show it again. What's going on here? Because we talked about the rest in Somalia. I'm going to show this once more.
Hey, what's up, America? Somalians are starting to be deported in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oh, yes, apparently that started last night, as ICE agents and Homeland Security have been spotted in Minneapolis, Minnesota, rounding up Somalians who are committing fraud to get into America. Yep, it looks like that's finally happening.
Started somebody. I love it.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Pray to God just. I'm just tired.
Those who have been.
All right. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, that you have seen it, though, you know, the guy said that he don't want to be here no more. I'm just doing a recap for those just coming in. He's reporting that in Somalia and things after being deported. So a lot of them, once again, there's a criminal element, right? And we already have seen with this criminal element coming from a lot of these foreigners that come over here and things like that. As I said earlier, it's called a temporary protection status. Doesn't mean that it's permanent. And once again, I'm giving a shout out to Trump for removing that temporary protection status, because these are fraudsters, right? As I went over here already, we're talking about $1 billion that has been frauded. We're talking about fraud out of America back over there to El Shabaab, right? Right. So that's a terrorist organization over there in Mogadishu in Somalia, ladies and gentlemen. They had a scheme going on, which is Feeding Our Future Children nutritional program, which is a fraud. It was a nonprofit in Minneapolis claimed to feed kids during COVID, right? Bill for ghost meals at fake sites, largest U.S. pandemic fraud. Ties to Somalia donors of Rep. Ilhan Umar. No charges against her. You know, I mean, this is what the feds and stuff have already disclosed. They found this stuff out. Estimated loss with this organization I just mentioned, it went from $250 million to $350 million, right? These are the things, though. Fake sites claiming 2.3 million in meals, right? Shell NGOs. Community recruitment, right? Fraud, luxuries, Kenya real estate, fraud. All this is fraud, right? There, look at this. Housing Stabilization Services, which is HSS fraud, right? This is another one. Medicaid aid for homeless, Minneapolis, fake firm bills for bogus housing counseling programs grew from 2.6 million in 2019 to 300 million in 2025. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the receipts that I'm showing. And this is why Trump is acting as in removing their temporary protection status. I rest my case, Your Honor. This is exactly what it is. I present to the jury in regards to what they have been doing. These are fraudsters. These are criminals, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm present to you, to the jury. I want you to be able to examine this as well. Let me go back and watch me do this. Let me go ahead and give you a little bit more. remember I mentioned about the autism therapy fraud? This was another thing that we're doing that was going on. They have been frauding. It was $14 million, right? For one of the rings. There's another one for the which is $100 million, right? So all this money has been extracted out of America, sent to Somalia to El Shabaab, you know, which is the terrorist organization, right? This happened under Tampon Tim Walz, the governor. Remember that dude, the one that ran for the vice president next to Kamala Harris? This is his baby. It is blowing up in the Democrats' face big time, right? Ilhan Omar, and in conjunction with these people here, this is what's going on. She's about to get deported. She's very close to, she's already been removed from Congress. So we already know, you already seen ALC acting the damn fool, which I'm going to bring that up in a minute. But I present to you my case right here. Nobody has to lie on these people, ladies and gentlemen. They have actually sealed their own fate. And I encourage Black folks not to get involved with this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of them got sense now because they're seeing the receipts, right? Let me see what ALC has to say. Hold on for a minute. ALC. Let me see here. Let's see here. I'm just going to put this here. Let's see if I can pull her up. The range. Oh, yeah. Here it is right here.
I had a member of the Republican caucus threaten my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who have talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America.
Shut up, woman, and fix me a sandwich with your big butt. She also got a big butt as well, too. Isn't she annoying, man? Oh, man. I tell you, though, man, this is the type of stuff right here, man. Instead of condemning what these Somali people have been doing, she's caping for them, man. This is the type of her, the Black lady in the background. She even spoke out too. What's her name? I can't think of her name right now, but this is in the because the ruling didn't go into their favor for the Democrats, though. You know that they got Ilhan Omar out of the Congress, though, which once again I'm clapping for her. Congratulations in Congress, get her ass up on out of there. You know what I'm saying? ALC or anybody else ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. All the receipts are here, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? This is just, I just like to hear her screeching ass voice trying to defend something that's the inevitable. You know what I mean? So when we can get Ilhan Omar ass deported, we're gonna have a big celebration. I'm gonna celebrate myself when they get her ass out of the country, because they already know, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you see the panic. Let's pull up Ilhan Omar. You see the panic in her face, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for a minute. Let me see a major blow to the Somalis. See the panic.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories.
Hold on for a minute. See the panic in her eyes? Just look at her eyes, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need to be care about anything else. Look at those eyes. She is panicked out, ladies and gentlemen. Shocked. Surprised. Because of Trump removing the temporary protection status. Look at this situation right here. Does this sound like a confident person that sound like, oh, I can't be touched. Since I'm a naturalized citizen. You could be denaturalized, though. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Does it look like she's concerned and worried? I say so. And we're going to break, like I said, I don't mind doing a breakdown of this type of stuff because it's going to play the video. I just want you to see those eyes.
Praise every day. Now, y'all, this is a follow.
I got to say one thing, though. This is all cap right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is cap. Oh, my goodness. What the? Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. I try to hold a straight face. Let me get my composure together. Let me see here. Hold on for a minute. Let me go play it. Oh, my goodness.
Follow up to yesterday's video about yet more fraud in Minnesota and the fact that the fraud has now been discovered as going to funnel terrorism in Somalia, y'all. So the report is that the Somalis in Minnesota and probably mostly in Minneapolis, certain probably very small subsections of the community have defrauded the state of Minnesota and the federal government. So that means you, the United States taxpayer, have defrauded us.
This is all the front. This meal program thing, all the front, all of it. She's there working. Oh, I'm a volunteer. Oh, the aesthetics look good. Aesthetics look good. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what the? Going to play it.
I should say, out of hundreds of millions of dollars, and a lot of that money, we don't have an exact figure, but millions and millions of dollars they send back to Somalia. And they'll use these money sending services called hawalas. And those hawalas, once the money gets to Somalia, there's a terrorist organization called Al-Shabaab who they're going to get their grubbies on the money, y'all. You're going to get their grubbies on the money once it gets back to Somalia through the hawala. It's not MoneyGram, people. It's not Western Union. You know, it's more like an informal middleman type of service. So this money, once it gets to Somalia, Al-Shabaab terrorist organization is going to say, hey, you got to give us some of the money. If they're not the middleman, they'll just go to
now, let's say this here again. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. She, as well as a lot of these Somalis in this fraud, is working in conjunction together. This is a operation, ladies and gentlemen. This is a fraud scam operation that's funding terrorism. Americans are paying, right, the terrorist organizations for our annihilation. That's fair to say. I present to you, Your Honor, once again, here's the receipts. I've already read to you in detail of what is going on with these fraudulent corporate organizations, I should say, these NGO organizations, not corporations, but NGOs, right? So I'm gonna share with you guys some more, but I'll tell you though, this is crazy though, Hold on for a minute. All right, let's see here. Let's go to breaking news.
The president says he is ending temporary protected status effective immediately. The Post on Truth Social says Minnesota, under Governor Walz, is a hub of fraudulent money laundering activity and billions of dollars are missing. Temporary protected status is granted to foreign countries who meet requirements for things like ongoing wars and natural disasters that prevent citizens from returning home safely. The current protected status for the country of Somalia extends through March of next year.
Yep. So it's going to extend to March of next year. But once again, you know what I'm saying? The ICE is they're already rounding them up. But yeah, this is technically, I'm showing right now in regards to this stuff. Either way, you got to go. You got to go, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Look at this is some crazy stuff though, boy. And trying to defend this stuff. This is crazy. Boy, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on for one moment. Let's see here. Let's go to this one. There it is. Stand back.
Move back. This is the freedom. I'm coming to my process immigration. What country are you from? I'm from Western Somali.
You gotta roll. You gotta bounce. I mean,
Is she originally from Somalia? Sure. So how are they doing this? How's their government? Do they have a president? Do they have a council?
No.
Do they have anything? Do they have police?
No.
I love these people that come from a place with nothing. No anything. And then they tell us how to run our country.
Hey everyone, it's Joy here.
All right, well, enough of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, enough of that. Hold on for a minute.
Yes, and the DHS actually extended and redesignated Somali's TPS status on July 22nd, 2024 into March 2026. Legal experts argue that Trump does not have legal authority to unilaterally revoke TPS designated by law, especially for a particular.
What they don't realize, ladies and gentlemen, he has the highest, they don't call it the highest court of the land. And he does have status. Trump does everything in legally. That's what these people don't realize. He does stuff legally. This is why Trump kicked their ass in the Supreme Court. You know, he wins all the Supreme Court cases because he follows the law.
Particular group in one state. Civil rights groups are calling that this is politically motivated and discriminatory, and courts are likely to step in. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with Trump or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments down below.
I mean, that's just how it is. Hold on for a minute. Here,
you want a good laugh today? Check this out.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen as a fabric, has seen themselves as the fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere.
You sure?
Not only are we not going anywhere.
You sure?
We are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
First and foremost, Little Miss Brusband. I don't feel American. I am American, so no one can make me feel less than or less like something that I already am because I was born that. And the real problem stems from the fact that you believe that you are the fabric of this nation. By the way, that metaphor refers to people that share fundamental structures, values, beliefs, you know, culture and all this stuff. Didn't you come from Somalia, where the country's major fabric is Islam, what holds that nation together? And in Islam, you either convert or die.
Hold on, let's just say this. If Islam really worked in their country so well, shouldn't they have a functioning government, a system of morals, as opposed to chaos, destruction, right? You know what I'm saying? Anarchy. You got tribal gangs. You got civil wars that's been going on. I'm just saying, Your Honor. Does it sound, I mean, if Islam really worked anywhere, right, you wouldn't have impoverished, enslaved men and so forth, right? I'm just saying, it's going to play it.
That's their belief system, correct? Or you force them to believe what you believe. Didn't Minnesota change their flag for you? See, if you were the fabric of this nation as you're espousing, you wouldn't have come to change the area you're in. You would assimilate and join in and share your culture and share your beliefs without forcing it on anybody.
Exactly. Why is there a Somali flags flying in over there in Minneapolis, man?
Because no means no. But you guys don't believe in that. If I don't believe what you believe, you say I should die. So please miss me with that, Little Miss Brusband.
Hey y'all, I've been getting a lot of calls and emails and text messages about Donald Trump's post last night about our community. I will post it right here where he is essentially claiming that he is going to terminate TPS for Somalis in Minnesota. I have been getting so many calls and text messages about it, and people are confused. What does it mean? How does it impact our community? How many people is this going to impact? How soon is it going to happen? And so I will use this video to try to break down for you as much information as I have. Okay, first, the basics. What does TPS stand for? TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status. Okay, so TPS is a federal program that allows people from certain countries to live and work here in the U.S. legally when it is unsafe for them to return to their home countries. The U.S. grants TPS to countries that are often facing armed conflict, natural disaster, just incredibly extraordinary things where it is hard for people to go back because they will die. They will not be able to survive those conditions, and it is meant for people to live here.
The question, once again, ladies and gentlemen, is called temporary protection status. Temporary, not permanent protection status. Trump holds the highest court in the land at the executive order. And I mean, it's just amazing to me. Yeah, you know, I mean, he already put a ban on it anyway, removed their protection status. This is why ICE agents, that's why I showed y'all the videos, because if that was so true, you wouldn't see ICE agents there. Even my thumbnail, you see ICE agents arresting Somalis, right? I present to you, Your Honor.
Here legally, work here legally, and be safe in this country. Okay, so Somalia is obviously one of those countries because it is going through a civil war and has been going through over the last 30-some years. So to people who are here, some of them are on temporary protected status because they can't go back home for obvious reasons. Okay, now let's go back to why we're really here. It's because the President of the United States decided to make a social media post last night saying, and I'll post it right here again, that he is going to terminate TPS for Somalis in Minnesota. First and foremost, this is a federal program. He can't just end TPS for one state.
And I'm just showing you guys what both sides are saying, but she's absolutely wrong. Wrong.
That's not a policy. That's the President of the United States, once again, doing what he does best, playing political theater.
Playing political theater. If that was the case, sweetie, he wouldn't have been winning in the Supreme Court on all the levels. He's a constitutionalist president. He knows the law and knows what he can do. It's granted to be given to you guys, and he could take it at the same time, which he did. You should be condemning your people in your community over there for all this fraudulent activity. We ain't gonna switch this thing on the TPS. I done heard enough. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit. Enough with the silence, you fool. That is Skeletor off of He-Man for those Generation Xers that grew up with that. I'm gonna have to put that as a sound bite. Silence, you fool. Because this is foolishness, right? We ain't got to entertain all that. I just want to give you guys a little bit, you know what I'm saying, in regards to it. So I appreciate you guys coming on the channel and things like that. I'm having fun with these scammy ass people that's behind fraudulent ass stuff, you know, and we getting down to it. But there's I'm not even surprised. There's a lot of blacks that's speaking out on there. Haitian immigrants are getting arrested. Ladies and gentlemen, this ain't just Somalis we're picking on. But right now, I want to highlight more on the Somalis, because as I read earlier to people, some of you guys just coming in, feeding our future children. I'm going to read this again, right? The nutrition program fraud that they've been doing. And this is a nonprofit Minneapolis claim to feeding kids during COVID, right? Building of ghost meals, all that stuff y'all saw with her with the fake, all of it is fake. It's just staged and theater aesthetics. It just look good, right? Ties Somali donors to Rep Ilhan Umar, you know, even though there's no charges against her per se, but she was the one here, her and her people. She never condemned this, right? She never condemned the the housing, the HHS fraud that they've been running. 2.6 million in 2019, 300 million in 2025. Ilhan Umar never condemned this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. She never did. What about the feeding our future, right? Children nutrition fraud, $250 million to $300 million. She never condemned this as well. None of this stuff she condemned. Oh, we're just innocent Somalians that's only on refugee status protection, and so forth, temporary protection status, right? This is the type of, she would have looked better. You are a congresswoman, but she said Somali first. Remember that? Somali first. We should never, once again, never allow, right? Never allow foreigners to partake in our government system, period. They should not hold seats. They should not be granted dual citizenship, because we already know. You seen Dearborn. I already did that live a few days ago. You guys seen that over there, right? Dearborn, ladies and gentlemen, they got mayors over there. They got Arab police over there that police only the Arabs. We talk about nepotism. We talk about favoritism. Same thing with Somalia, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't work. And we want them out of Congress. We want them out of our government system. They don't belong. You would never see this in other nations in the world. It doesn't work. You have to be removed, ladies and gentlemen. I've never been a fan of this at all. And I stand on that 10 toes down with everything I love. You know what I'm saying? But let me go ahead and give you guys, show you guys something else. But yeah, this is basically, I appreciate you guys for coming in. We're over here talking about, all right, let's see here. Go ahead, Umar, terrified as Trump orders takeover. Let's take a look at it here. Show you guys this one. Just go.
Welcome back to American Zone. So President Trump called out some of the very overwhelming fraud, and let's be honest, it was overwhelming, that has been kind of taking place in the state of Minnesota. Who are we talking about specifically? I mean, come on. You know who I'm talking about. Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz. They're playing a very significant role in this entire scheme. So we're going to be discussing this today and expose some of the fraud claims that President Trump is talking about. Let's get to it.
We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen as a fabric, has seen themselves as a fabric of this nation.
Just how many Somalians make up that fabric of our nation? In Minnesota, it's just over 70.
Look at it. Look at it. I just want to freeze this. You guys are seeing this right now. I ain't got to read it. You guys see it. Look at it. Look at this. We have refugees in the country since 1993. And I remember that. Look at this. Look at this. This is the population. Grown since then, which is typical, because they can have more than one wife, have multiple children, off the system, bleeding our system, protection status, tax status. Look at this.
76,000, 5,000 of which currently refugees, and 430 have protected status. Since then, since 1993, there have been 26,000 refugees. But there's also a lot of money being sent to Somalia from abroad. 40% of households there get money transfers. It totals $1.7 billion by the Somali diaspora. Well, that was in 2023. It's also worth pointing out that's more than the budget of Somalia's government in 2023.
And look at it. Look at it. You know that money went straight to El Shabaab. El Shabaab, right? $1.7 billion right here, Your Honor. Look at this. 40% household in Somalia are getting remittance abroad. Look at this. 40%. Man, it's a hell of a scam, man. And you don't think that the president has the right to put a removal of temporary protection status? This here tops what Ilhan Umar, whoever else that was talking against this type of stuff. You can't protect the inevitable, which is deportation. You know, and some of these people are sitting in prison cells right now for defrauding this nonprofit organization. So a lot of man, I'm just saying though, man, look at this here. How much money has been sent to Somalia from abroad? Your Honor, this is the reason. There we go. Here we go right here. And let's go and play the rest of it a little bit more.
Where's it coming from? Well, here's an example. The federal child nutrition program, Feeding Our Future, very much in America. The sponsored organization were primarily owned and operated by members of the Somali community. It claimed to be serving thousands of meals a day, 7 days a week to underprivileged children. Spoiler alert, it didn't. The fraud ring used fake meal counts, doctored attendance records, and fabricated invoices, all while raking in quite a bit of money from the government. Just this week, a 36-year-old man became the 78th person charged in the scheme.
Wow, man. Man, oh my goodness. Oh, man. I tell y'all can't make this up.
According to prosecutors, he claimed to serve 6,000 meals a day, 7 days a week at one of the meal sites, which is more than double the number of people who live in the town. In 2019, Feeding Our Future received $3.4 million in federal funding.
I just read this earlier for those that are coming in, but I want to show it too. I said I'm gonna start doing that.
By 2021, that number was $200 million. In reality, that money was being used to fund lavish lifestyles in the U.S. and elsewhere. And many other schemes spawned from this one. News Nation reports to date, 86 people have been indicted. Of those indicted, federal authorities say 79 of them are Somali descent.
Now, big props to Will Kane for using such a large portion of his show to expose the lies and fraudulent money schemes that Ilhan Omar has been orchestrating in the state of Minnesota. Clearly, there's a lot of growing evidence, trying to be very polite here. I'm just going to say there's a mountain. It's huge, insane amount of evidence that is proving that something weird is going on at a bare minimum. We have Ilhan Omar saying that Somalians are a fabric of America, but they make up less than 0.5% of the nation's population. So, that makes it kind of odd. Omar is lying to the entire internet, to the entire world, with the intent of doing something shady behind the scenes. Will Kane deserves a medal and credit for being one of the few major media figures willing to shine a spotlight on what has been swept under the rug for years. Now, while most networks tiptoe around Ilhan Omar to avoid being called names by the political establishment, no surprise there, Kane is actually, he's kind of like, got some cojones. He's like digging into the numbers, the money trail, and the deeply, very concerning level of like political machinery happening and operating inside Minnesota. And the more you dig, the more you examine, the more it becomes very clear that trying to pretend that this is all just coincidence or misunderstanding is quite a stretch. It's kind of painfully obvious. There are patterns, there are connections, and there are very real financial red flags and intent that any honest investigator would be freaked out by and very alarmed. Okay?
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what it is. Let me go ahead and give him some more of his he did excellent journalism work. And for those, all you got to do is pull up you can check this stuff out on your AI information as well too. This is well documented.
Fraud and costs exploding. 6 people accused of defrauding HSS are members of the Somali community. We also told you about the autism scam, where a woman in the Somali community was one of the many accused of recruiting kids for autism therapy, even if they didn't have autism. As a result, Medicaid claims also surged. Bottom line, we know this fraud is happening, but what's worse is when good prosecutors try to do something about it, and a judge lets the convicts off the hook, like in Hennepin County, where a judge tossed out a jury guilty verdict in a $7.2 million home health care fraud case. In August, Abtifa Yusuf and his wife, Lul Ahmed, were found guilty by a jury of stealing $7.2 million in taxpayer money through Medicaid overbilling in a personal care assistance scam. According to the Minnesota Attorney General's office, they used stolen funds for, you guessed it.
Let me just check this out. Look at what they have used for. They had a lavish lifestyle, man. And it's sad though too. And like I said, it's sad for Americans, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I'm not laughing at. I'm not laughing at how we got fleeced. But these people here, look at this. 1 million. I mean, I'm letting him talk, but you guys see it. Oh my gosh. This is what's been going on. And it's amazing to me, and I'm going to play it. Ilhan Omar never, ever called this stuff out. She refuses to go against her people. Same thing in Dearborn with the Arabs. They will not call this stuff out. Now, the mayor did call down death to America and all that other stuff. But here this is, man, she won't call it out. But the police officers in Dearborn won't do their job to protect, not just, they protect Muslims in their community, not non-Muslims. Let's get it.
A lavish lifestyle. 1 million into a personal account, 387,000 in cash, 22,000 at a furniture store, 42,000 at luxury car dealers, and 80,000 at high-end clothing stores. But despite all of that, and a quick jury verdict, the judge tossed it out, writing, while the court is troubled by the manner in which fraud was able to be perpetrated at promise, the state's evidence did not exclude other reasonable, rational inferences that are inconsistent with Mr. Yusuf's guilt. It's all incredible, seemingly rampant.
So here's the problem. Ilhan Omar has built an entire political brand on the idea that she represents a huge oppressed immigrant community population that America must pour endless money into. The population is less than half of 1%. That is tiny. That is a lie. You can't just ignore that. That narrative does not add up. You don't get to use a group that is the fabric of America when they're statistically not comparable to the rest of the nation.
Enough. Okay, so I heard that there. So, like I said, I've just been showing nothing but receipts in regards to this type of stuff. But she won't call it. She's busted. They're busted, but she won't call it out, which I find very, very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, maybe we'll pull this one up. It looks like we got Cash Patel. Let's hear what Cash
Sometimes
Patel
in American politics, the earth doesn't just tremble, it cracks wide open. And in Minnesota these past few days, that crack echoed loud enough to shake Washington to its core, send Ilhan Omar's team into absolute panic mode, and launch one of the most brutal federal crackdowns we've witnessed in years. Because what federal agents discovered wasn't simply theft. It wasn't merely corruption. It wasn't even another welfare scam. This was something far more sinister. Minnesota taxpayer cash flowing directly into the pockets of foreign terrorists. And the second Trump got the briefing, he acted instantly. No hesitation, no delays. He unleashed what people are calling a complete federal takeover, including immediately ripping away protected status from nearly 1,000 Somali nationals. And when Omar got the news, her meltdown told us everything. The fear, the excuses, the total breakdown. Today, we're diving into exactly what went down, why Minnesota exploded, how the scam connected to terrorism, and why Trump's move is creating earthquakes across the political landscape. Let me break this down piece by piece, because what's happening right now isn't just Minnesota drama. This is a defining moment for our entire nation. When I first caught wind of this story, my gut reaction was simple. How does something this enormous stay buried for years? How do you run fraud this massive with this many crooks involved and nobody sounds the alarm sooner? But then you dig into the facts and everything becomes crystal clear. This wasn't some mistake. This wasn't a handful of thieves slipping through gaps. This was an organized criminal operation running in broad daylight, abusing every single weakness they discovered. And that's what makes this so frightening. Because when federal agents finally pieced it together, they didn't just uncover stolen welfare cash. They exposed a complete pipeline, an entire system pumping American taxpayer dollars straight overseas into zones controlled by one of the deadliest terror groups in East Africa. Just pause and absorb that reality. Programs built to feed starving children, help seniors afford homes, support families barely surviving, all of it hijacked and rerouted. Not just pocketed for luxury cars and mansions, though plenty went there too, but actually channeled straight to people dedicated to destroying us. The scale here is mind-blowing. Federal prosecutors slapped charges on 70 to 80 criminals so far. And we're not discussing pocket change. The total haul exceeds $250 million. Sit with that number for a moment. $250 million stolen from programs created to feed kids and shelter vulnerable Americans. And here's what really burns me up. This wasn't some genius high-tech scheme. No hackers cracking encrypted systems or criminal masterminds gaming sophisticated finance networks. It was shockingly simple. And somehow that makes it even more infuriating because it proves the systems supposedly protecting our money were either broken.
What they say, the old saying goes, if you want to hide something, ladies and gentlemen, you put it in hindsight, you put it right there, right in front of the people. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, though. Cash Patel, like I said before, I wanted to show that a little bit. You guys have saw enough of the evidence, though, and I'm saying, though, She didn't call this out. Ilhan Omar refused to call it out. They will not go against their people, ladies and gentlemen. And it's amazing to me that she even became a congressperson. This is one of the main reasons as to why I am so against foreigners partaking in our political system, because it doesn't work. Because you're going to get a bunch of nepotism, favoritism, and criminal elements. Because the people that claim to need our help, it's the same people. It's the enemy within. It's the enemy within, though. Because look what ended up happening. 1 billion, sucked out of America to go fuel a terrorist organization, which is called El Shabaab. This is exactly what ended up happening. Ilhan Omar didn't call it out. She's Congresswoman. This happened right up under her watch. You guys, I showed you the video of her feeding America, and all this other nonsense, which is nothing more than a front scam. All of it is scam. You know what I'm saying? All of it is scam. Trump ain't got to be attacking nobody. That's why I showed y'all the receipts. Yeah, I could have normally been talking it. I said, nope, now and then I'm start showing receipts in regards to what has been happening, ladies and gentlemen. They don't need to be in our political system, and we need to start changing laws. You guys need to start writing or calling or getting in contact with your local congressperson, so therefore we can be able to start passing laws to get these people, because they don't belong in our political system at all. They really don't. Now, if you're first generation, but I'm talking about foreigners. I'm not even first generation. We're talking about true foreigners, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They don't belong in our system at all. And this is what's going to end up happening. I showed you the receipts in Dearborn, where you got a mayor. What's his name again? His name is Abdullah Hamoud, right? And all you saw over there is nothing but nepotism and favoritism, right? These are the things. They got Arab police officers that protect only their community. Arabs for Arabs. In America, this is happening in America. Somali for Somalians. Happening here in America, ladies and gentlemen. And I say to the jury, I say to the jury, you guys got to make the decision. You got to start waking up and smarten up. That's what you have to do. In order to be able to get this thing, in order for us to change this thing around, we cannot allow these people to continue on to what they're doing, because, again, this is the fabric of America. Yeah, we do have opportunity for everybody to come here, but not to be partaking in our political system, because their idea is for their people, not for everyone. They don't assimilate in American society at all for some of these people. And this is why I'm happy to see that ICE and Trump has been removing them out of our country. And I would like to see Minneapolis return, because Minneapolis used to be a very, very beautiful city, man. Minneapolis was, it was the heart of America. The Mall of America and all this other kind of stuff, man. And now look at it. It's just, they calling it Little Mogadishu, which is sad. You got over here in Dearborn, that's they got the largest concentration of Arabs in the United States is in Dearborn right now. They got police over there, as I said before, mayor. They got to call a prayer early in the mornings. You know what I'm saying? They don't simulate very well. You got Arab writing on buildings and things like that, where regular Americans don't understand. This stuff should have never been allowed. And just to let you know, in the Arab community over there in Dearborn, guess what's going to happen? ICE is coming. They're already saying they just dispatched I forgot the amount of ICE agents, but they are coming to Dearborn. And rest assured, there's going to be a lot of arrests because you got people that's over here with overstayed visas, over here on fraudulent activity, that ones that slip through the cracks. There's nowhere you can run and hide. They already know who these people are, and they're going to be coming. And it's long time overdue that we can get these people out of our country, right? Because we already know, you already seen what's happening in Somalia. These people that they still support terrorism in their country. Just like they're going to support in the Arab communities as well. They already had a terrorist. There was about to be a terrorist attack that they stopped. They foiled the plan before it had a chance to go off. It went to Dearborn. ICE agents, Fed agents, they got to go to Dearborn. They know. They already know. We're taking back America, ladies and gentlemen. I don't give a damn who don't like it. We're taking back America. You know, I just wanted to show this here. Like I went over about an hour, but yeah, been 26 minutes to be exact. But I'm about to go to my close. This ain't gonna be a super long one here. I wanted to talk about this, and I'm trying to think that I cover everything before I go to my close. Let me see. I covered that, showed you the receipts and so forth. But ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow this stuff to happen. We cannot continuously allow this, what's going on in America. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm glad you guys came on here. Because like I said, they've been shadow banning me down where I can't even find my feed. I looked for it again not too long ago. Let me see if I can try to find it again. But yeah, it's not showing up because they want to hide the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Truth, we already know tech companies, they're all working with the DNC and all this other stuff. My feed should be coming up, and it's not. But this is just temporary. I ask you guys for common decency as an American to an American citizen. Please support my Rumble channel. I just need I need people to subscribe over there, which is called a random mail. That's what you see scrolling at the bottom right there. That's my Rumble channel. I'm working on building up my Rumble. I always had a Rumble account, but I said I forgot to start it. So I'm starting to promote that though. If you rock with me or not, but if you rock with me, please subscribe to that channel over there. You know, because pretty soon I'm gonna be going live over there, ladies and gentlemen. Because of the stuff with YouTube, they always been about this stuff. They push people, right? I said this before. You have a lot of these phony influencers that are Democratic shields that are paid for by them. Their job is to disrupt and break up MAGA. It's not working because Trump still has 87% of the vote, even though support, right? MAGA is not going anywhere, right? This is a strong group of people that voted for Trump, right? This is exactly what it is. So for the people that want to split up MAGA, they telling you, even have people in Congress, right? People in government basically saying, don't listen, the military don't follow Trump's instructions. This is an insurgency. You guys are seeing it live and well. They're going to try to divide the military. They're going to try to divide MAGA. That's what they've been trying to do. So all these fake social media people, YouTube, look at their numbers. I'm over here. I'm just saying, don't you guys find it very strange? I put out pretty great content, I think, you know, but they over here spinning news, talking about this ain't true, how Trump is illegal for what he's doing. They want you to take they want you to look at it's called a temporary protection status for a reason. You don't think criminal activity oversees that? It does. Ilhan Omar would never call it out. She's not going to call it out, ladies and gentlemen. They won't call this type of scam things, the gang activity going on. Are we just the fabric of American society? No, you're not. Because if that was true, we wouldn't have the criminal aspects of what we're talking about here. Criminal activities and so forth wouldn't be going on. Right? So, yeah. So therefore, I voted for this. I'm not ashamed at all about being a Trump supporter. MAGA cap and everything. I'm not ashamed of it. Why? He's been doing right by the American people. The low down left and so forth have been doing wrong by the people. Tampon Tim doing wrong for the people in Minnesota for allowing this bull crap. He knew what was going on. He was well aware of the scam thing going on. How can you be a governor and not know? If I was questioning him, I would be putting major pressure on Tim Walz. How do you not know? Right? 1 billion or 1.4 billion has been removed, extracted from America. Right? That's what ended up happening. 1.4 billion. And it's been funding a terrorist organization, Al-Shabaab. That's where all the money been going to. We haven't got nothing from it. I'm gonna call her back later. We haven't gotten nothing from it, ladies and gentlemen. This is, once again, this is the type of stuff right here. Hold on for a minute. Let me see here. Let me close that off here. All right. Every time I receive a phone call, you guys know how it is. If you got Bluetooth going on, automatically starts up. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead on and close this down. But yeah, but that's basically what it is, though, ladies and gentlemen. You know, and I love showing you guys the clip of the guy that was from Somalia that got deported. He's crying like a baby. He said, "I hate it over here in Somalia," basically. But you should have had that. You should have. These people here, man, I mean, I don't know how stupid you got to be. You already know your country is war-torn. Civil wars going on. Criminal elements. Rape and pillage and so forth. Anarchy, chaos. And then she's over here as a congresswoman. Interesting. A congresswoman telling Americans how to be an American for Somalia. Her whole speech, she's Somalian. Who is her constituents? Somalian people. This is, once again, your jury. I'm presenting the evidence. I want the jury, which is the American people, to listen and look at this. We're talking about being rational. We're talking about common sense. This is the reason why we should not allow immigrants. I'm talking about immigrants as in not even firstborn. We're talking about immigrants migrating over, right? Coming from another country and being in our political arena. They do not know our culture, our laws very well. It's to serve them and their people. Just like I already showed in Dearborn. They already did that live stream. All the nepotism, favoritism. Arab police officers, Somali police officers, pretty much protecting their own people. We can't have this stuff. We're either gonna have America for everyone, or you got to bounce. And that's for any foreigner that's in here. You know, you got to go. If you don't know how to simulate and be part of America, United States of America, not of Somalia, not part of the Emirates or Arab countries. You don't know how to do this because ICE is coming to Dearborn. And I'm going to cover that story when they do come to Dearborn. It's going to be a mass amount of ICE agents. Wait till you guys see in the first of the year. When 2026 roll around, you're going to see they already have the budget from the big beautiful bill. There's many ICE agents that are lined up ready to do their job. Brand new ICE agents. And they're going to flood the zone in Dearborn. They're going to get a lot of this radical Islamist terrorist type of people up out of the country, right? And we need to have a level of fear because Trump is setting an example for these big and bold mayors. And if this mayor, Arab mayor in Dearborn tries to stop it, which he can't, it's going down. And those police officers, when I did that live a few days ago, they're a disgrace because they shouldn't be wearing a uniform. If you're going to be a police officer, you're supposed to protect everyone. When that journalist got attacked by some of their own people, equipment come up missing. He was told he had to go down to the station and file a report. These guys, these Arab police officers have saw what was going on, being violently attacked and so forth. This is what they do. They protect their own people. So therefore, Americans got to protect its own people and get these radical extremists out of our country. And I'm all for that. I voted for this. I don't falter. I don't stutter. You know, anytime you want to smoke on the debate, just let me know, right? Because it's pretty evident and obvious. The receipts that I've been showing, they don't have Somali and the rest of them don't have a leg to stand on. You know what I'm saying? This is for common decency, being an American citizen. This is the greatest country in the world. There's no other place on earth that's like it. We have Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, right? Freedom of the press, allowed to participate, hold partitions in a public forum, as long as you're not doing it in a violent manner. And that's what the Arabs were doing. Death to America, death to America, death to America. You know, that don't sound like a people deserve to be over here. So I'm on board with Trump. When this is going to round these people up, these Palestinian protests and all that, crush them and get their asses up on out of here. I'm all for that. You know, we're not going to allow this. Get these Afghanis up on out of here. We're not going to allow. We're not playing around. We're not playing, ladies and gentlemen. We're not playing with these people. America right now is one of the hardest countries to enter. We're up on par. We on par with Poland right now. They can't get into Poland. They're trying to, but they get arrested. So they try to cross that damn wall or cut through the wall, which they were doing recently. And then what did they do in Poland? Round them up. Anybody in Europe know what I'm talking about? Very difficult to get into Poland. Some of these countries. And this is why Poland has this identity of its people. They seen what was going on. They would not allow mass immigration. Poland, most of Europe don't play that because they understand, right? You'll lose your heritage, you lose your culture. Japanese understand that. And shout out to these people though, you know. You coming over here illegal and think that you got some entitlement? No, it's not going to happen. You know, there's ways to enter into Poland, but they don't want the filth. They don't want degenerates, right? They don't want people that are terrorists, scammers, and all the rest of this stuff. And these people have never been vetted. They just were allowed to come over here since 1993. And they showed their ass with these Somalis. They showed their ass, and Trump is busting that ass right now. You got to get in their ass. And I said that the last time. You got to get in these Arabs' ass. You got to get in these Somalis' ass. You got to get in these Haitians' ass. You got to get in these Afghanis' ass. You got to get in these Nigerians' ass. I can keep on going. That's exactly what you got to do. You got to get in their ass. That's exactly what it is. And I'm happy. And I don't care if I have no viewers because I speak the truth. I don't do this for views and clicks. If you notice, I speak the truth. If you rock with me for real, hey, that's cool. That's cool. Because I don't need a bunch of phony followers. I need people that support America like I do, right? If you support me, you support America, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't said anything out of context, incorrect in regards to being patriotic. I'm very patriotic. I over here saying we have the Star Spangled Banner and everything. Talk about the Constitution a lot. I talk about it a lot, right? You don't see these other people talking about the Constitution. You know, Trump been busting that ass from day one, and the Democrats know it. They lose at the Supreme Court level all the time. So that tells me that Trump is more in compliance with the federal law than the Democrats ever have been. These are failed leftist policies why they're over here in the first place. We don't have to grant them ish anymore. The jig is up. Get these Somalis out of here. They don't want to be Americans anyway, right? Entitlement. We've been very good to them. They've been creating families over here in a religion, more than one wife, several wives, outbreeding us. Same thing over there. And the white guy wasn't lying. They outbreeding us. Look what's going on. Look what's going on. So more and more Americans are uprising against these foreigners, man. And this didn't have to happen this way if you followed the laws and didn't take on these democratic policies. But they did. And this is what I'm saying though. They don't know the history of this country. Many of them don't understand what the Constitution is. They don't understand what it means to really be an American. When you first generation, second generation born and up, you have stake and claim in this country. You want to see America succeed, but they want to turn America like they war in torn ass countries. And we ain't rocking with that. This is why ICE is coming. Let's go and tell the real reason. This is the reason why, as I mentioned, because you have criminal elements, as I stated before, with these other types of people. Obviously, they're investing in corruption. Ilhan Omar, in my opinion, right, is investing in corruption. For her, I showed y'all when she was over there doing the food thing, running the food scam, right? Feeding, whatever, that organization. I showed you that Ilhan Omar participated in a fraudulent nonprofit organization with the feeding. What is that thing called again? Let me pull it back up here. It was called Feeding Our Future, right? Children, nutritional fraud, right? They have cameras and photos and pictures of her over here feeding. I mean, made up all these food. They probably ended up giving it to their other families, though. You know, that was a whole Somali scam. It didn't. You think that food went to that's it called Feeding America? It did not. It went straight into their kitchen. How much more do we have to be defrauded in America? How much more before Americans start waking up? How much more? How much more? I present to the jury in regards to all my receipts that I have shown you who the enemies of America truly and really are. They do not have our best interests at heart. And if I go back to Dearborn right now, I think we will do that. And I'm going to close, man. Dearborn, Michigan protests. And one thing about it, man, this guy here is about it, man. Yeah, he's about, man, he's about it. Now, you know, he's holding a holy Quran up in the pork right now. Let me show y'all this. This is what he's doing. Now, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna condemn this because, again, America, you have a right to practice your religion. As long as you're not doing it where people are being hurt, threatened, and so forth, you are allowed to do it. But what this guy, this white guy here, he's holding up the Quran and putting bacon next to it. Now, to me, I can't roll with that. Now, see the difference with me. I'm gonna call it out. Whether and I agree with what the guy is saying, but I don't agree what he's doing right here. Look at this. Okay. And I know where this is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go down there and cover it myself. But I'm gonna show y'all where this is.
Shut the fuck up! United we stand! Divided we fall! We are not divided! Jesus is king! This is bacon!
He got the bacon up and he put it on top of their Quran. Now, I'm just saying, if we were to take the Bible and put some ish on it, it's pretty much the same thing. They look at the bacon as ish. You see what I'm saying? They really do. I have to condemn this because, I don't go out and attack people for their religion. That's not what we're doing here. We're talking about nepotism. We're talking about favoritism, scamming. That's what I'm against. I don't stand with what this white guy did with the bacon thing. He put that bacon on top of the Quran. And anybody know Muslims do not eat pork. It's unlawful, right? To be even associated with it, it's unlawful. But this is why the Arabs are mad. But he's out here taunting them and agitating them now. Remember, we said before, we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and pursuit, and the freedom of the press as well. Freedom of free press, freedom of the press. Those are the things. And the petition, the whole rallies petitions in a civilized manner, in a calm, civilized manner, right? You can't be over here doing what this guy doing and spreading hate, because they're gonna take this as hatred. They already consider him as a racist anyway. Yeah, this guy here he's pretty famous though, man. And they don't like him over there in Dearborn at all. He goes out there and does the thing out there and stuff, All I'm saying is to this guy here, I understand your frustration, but we got to stay on topic, stay on point. What they're doing, because we have an airtight case. What the Arabs and the mayor is doing, it's totally un-American. And that's what we need to stand on. It's totally un-American, right? It's un-American for what these foreigners are doing, because they never been in a constitutional republic, right? Which is America. Constitutional republic. That's what we're going back to. This is what make America great, right? We're talking about the Constitution of the United States is what we stand on. Yep, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think I uncovered everything though, and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm not sympathetic at all. And I'm gonna give a message for blacks that did not get the memo. Do not get involved with the Somali incident, because all they're gonna do with them and whoever else, other these other foreigners, now they want to look to, because they know how powerful the black community is, right? And they lean on the black community, just like the LGBTQ did, right? You have a lot of other organizations as well that lean on the black community. And I'm gonna tell you guys though, if you know by history that these organizations never meant us any good at all. They use us as leverage, and once they have gotten what they wanted, they leave us like a hot potato. We've seen that in the past. Do not fall for the okie doke. Stay on point. Stay on the truth. Stay on what really matters. This stuff don't matter to us though. Let Trump cook. Let him with the ICE agents, because they are coming. So we can go ahead and purge this filth out of our country. And I can't wait until they get Ilhan Omar, because she's coming. Make no mistakes about it. Trump gonna get her. He already got her, in my opinion. He already got her. But everybody else is gonna see how he has got them. You know, he got them. All right. So other than that, I'm going to go ahead and stop it. It's almost been 2 hours at this stream. I was supposed to do this for an hour, man, but try to pack as much in as I possibly can. Show the receipts. I thank you guys for supporting me, rocking with me and stuff. If I got any new subscribers or whatever, that's cool. You know, I didn't see no comments and stuff like that. So it looked like they have gotten a lot of the troll bots under control. I don't really see them very much in my room anymore, which means that they're shadow banning me. So I understand that, you know, because I've been speaking out against their Democratic shields, their bots and so forth. They say this guy is already on it. So let me go ahead and take him down, make sure that he don't get the visibility as he deserves, which is I. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being a part of something great, which is Some Random Guy Speaks. And you'll see me randomly speak about something else, you know, but I'm going to stay on this topic right now, you know. Then later on, I'm going to do the other deal with the passport bro thing and things like that. So I said I'm going to start doing 2 things though. But I appreciate you guys for coming in though. You know, got a lot of support earlier today and things. They've been shadow banning me, making sure that my information don't see the masses of people, you know, as I stated before. So other than that, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna keep banging. I'm gonna keep my foot on the DNC's neck. I'm gonna keep my foot on a lot of these these Democratic shields. I'm gonna keep my foot on a lot of stuff, keep my foot on their neck, you know, keep the truth. And that's exactly what it is. That's what I present. I present nothing but the truth, nothing but the facts, ladies and gentlemen. And I thank you for being a part of Some Random Guy Speaks, as I stated before. Please go to my Rumble and you'll see my channel, A Random Male. Please go to Rumble. I'm spamming out my channel. If you can follow me over there, because I'm going to start pushing content on Rumble, because I'm being shadow banned on YouTube, right? So if you can go there to Rumble and follow me there, I'm promoting my channel there. Therefore, I will have the liberty of really being able to speak how I really feel and so forth. So you want to go there, you know. I'm not even being monetized over here, and that's cool, because like I said, I got a job, you know what I'm saying? So if it comes, it comes, but I don't care about that stuff. So yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of Some Random Guy Speaks. Give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to Omega. Again, give a shout out to Joe Mama, not your mama, but Joe Mama, right? I'm gonna give a shout out to, what the hell? Why you keep coming on? See, it keeps cutting on. All right, let me do this here. I'm gonna close that out. There we go. That won't start on. All right, that won't cut on now. All right, cool. So I give a shout out to Omega, Joe Mama, not Joe Mama, but Joe Mama. Give a shout out to Sherry Lady. Give a shout out to Angelica, Barbecue Roadkill, Dan the Corn Man. I ain't forgot you guys, right? 1000 RR. I haven't forgotten you guys though, man. I'm going right down the list though, you know. And there's a few others though on there as well too, that follow me on the channel and stuff like that. I look forward to you know, doing many more and things. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say I'm gonna do the passport bro thing as well too, for the fellas, because you know I do have a passport as well. So, you know, talk about reasons as to why you should be getting your passport, especially if you're a black man living in America, right? So other than that, though, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, man. I got to go on and get to work, get myself together here. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for subscribing, or don't forget to subscribe as well. Give me more likes. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Peace and chicken grease. Your boy is out.